Hello everyone, this is Gary, and today we're looking at 3 merger tips for managers. Now I know how it is, you are a manager of a team, a department, maybe you're managing your own business, and you find yourself in merger discussions with another business. Now you've probably got lots of around you, indeed expertise is what you will definitely need in these circumstances. You probably have experts coming out of your ears. They are everywhere. And you just need a moment to step back and get a handle on what are the key issues you need to have in the back of your mind as you go forward. A checklist, if you like, of some of the things you need to look out for when you get into those discussions. And that is what this video is all about. 3 merger tips. So, broadly, by way of introduction, the first one is all about the money, not surprisingly. So I'll be looking with you at issues around pricing, KPI, profitability, things like that. The second tip is that you've got to look at how the other firm, the other business does things. You know, we don't want people saying, well, we don't do it that way after you've merged. You've got to explore how things are done. So that's looking at working methods and protocols so that the merge practice, if it's a genuine merger of 2 equal firms, you have to have a common way of working once you have merged. Obviously, if it's a takeover by one business of the other, the larger practice or the stronger practice will dictate working methods and protocols, but that's all a different issue. And then finally, the third area I want to explore with you is around, well, you've got to get to a win-win, not a lose-lose situation. Otherwise, there's no point in having the merger. So it's got to improve key areas of competition in key markets. And at the same time, inevitably, it needs to look at costs as well, cutting those costs without losing revenue. And those are just really the 3 areas I need to explore with you a bit further when we get into the video. So without more ado, and with bated breath, as they say in all good videos, let's just get into it. Okay, so let's get into it. We're looking at 3 merger tips for managers. Essentially a scenario where 2 firms are joining together. And we're looking at the scenario where they are similar in size, compatible, and that's the issue we're going to be looking at really. So more than at any other time, it's important to read the small print. Now, my first tip is going to be around money or finances. My money, your money. You've got 2 firms with a different approach, or maybe they're just different in how they're structured. And they've got to be the same if a merger is going to work smoothly. So it's got to be issues around pricing. It's going to be issues around KPI, profitability, salaries, and of course leverage. Now, if they're not compatible, they're not comparable, a merger will be difficult, and it will only proceed if indeed one is taking over the other, so that one's methodology, one's structure dominates the other. So looking at tip 2, it's all about culture. We don't do it that way. Well, if you are merging and you're trying to get 2 firms to work together successfully, they need common or similar cultures. That's around the standards of service, or indeed standards of product specifications, standards generally, around staff relations, how they manage their people, the management reporting methods, and the working methods and protocols. Now, if they're comparable, if they are compatible, well then you've got some chance of a merger working smoothly. But if not, you really need one to dominate at the end of the process. And then we're looking at tip 3, got to find a win-win, not a lose-lose, which is easily said. What do I mean by that? Well, the product of the merger has got to be improved competition in key markets. There's got to be some degree of cutting costs without losing revenue, and you've got to improve leverage. Otherwise, there's just no point in doing it. And believe me, it is as easy as that. especially if we can increase profitability. Okay, so that was 3 merger tips for managers. And I hope that's covered some of the key issues you need to be thinking about once you get into those discussions. Just to recap, we looked at the issue of money, around pricing and KPI, profitability, salaries and leverage. And then we had a look at how things are done, because as I said, you don't want to find once you've merged, you're constantly hearing people saying, well, we don't do it that way here. You want it known, you want to have rehearsed how that's going to be dealt with, and you want to know how you're going to be doing things once you've merged. So that's around standards of service, staff relations, reporting methodologies, working methods and protocols. And then finally, the third area is around the need for the merger to be successful. In other words, it's got to be a win situation, not a lose one. So you need to look at improving competition in your key markets, cutting costs without losing revenue, and finally trying to improve leverage and increase your profitability. Those then are the key areas we looked at when you're looking at the best and the top, what I would say were the 3 top merger tips for managers. So if you do all that, well, it will be as easy as that. Now, if you like this video, please mark it as a like, and if you want more videos like this, please subscribe. Apart from that, all that is left for me to say is thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.